Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we are talking the ratings. The ratings are in for Real Housewives of Atlanta, and it's a hot mess. It's down 74,000 views. Like, there's not much I really have to say. I mean, I'm not surprised by the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of ratings that is going on. I just don't think, this season is really giving. This season is not doing what it needed to do. It was overhyped. There was too long of a break. That there's too much foolishness. There's more drama taking place on social media and these podcasts than there is on the shows. And then the drama that you are seeing on the show is very contrived. Like, I still feel a way about, even the clip that I did see of the after show, because like I told you, I'm a few episodes behind, but it really bothered me, like, this stance on, how much somebody should donate and how, how much money they should spend or how much in goods they should donate. And even if after the fact you ask that person privately, like, what they should do and everything else, and then they switch up on you on camera and try to shame you, like it's weird behavior. It is absolutely weird behavior. Shamea's getting drug up and down through this internet, y'all. I mean, she's completely lost the plot. And, more on losing the plot, I want to break down this interview that I also found equally as disturbing that she did with Gary with the T and Kandi, that completely, it really kind of put a spotlight to me on how Shamea sees herself. And Drew Sidora and Angela Oakley are not wrong on their assessment of Shamea. So that's really all that I have on the ratings. The demo was 0.11 and it went down 5 digits from 0.16, but I'm not surprised. The season is all over the place, as will be the ratings. so there's that. Usually it's supposed to be higher because of the vacation episodes, the cast trips, but it's not giving. So I'm not shocked at any of this. So there's that. Cross with Gary with the T, with Kandi Burruss and Shamea Morton, and I'm just confused. I am just confused, you guys. I feel like this is going to be controversial, but is Shamea an opportunist? Is Shamea an opportunist? Is Drew Sidora right that Shamea's entire existence is being somebody's lapdog? Who is Shamea outside of Porsha? Who is Shamea in this interview outside of Kandi? Off the rip, saying that the people call her Baby Kandi. Who's that? Who said that? Baby Kandi? People noticed immediately that you were replicating Kandi's older hairstyles from the earlier seasons when she would have the different short hairstyles on the show. That was like obvious, right? And then all of the bouts of the crying and all that stuff, some people said that's Kandi-esque. But, you said yourself that Kandi was the one that coached you. And this interview was very revealing. This is very revealing. And for some reason, she wants people to think that her and Kandi resemble each other. And I'm just confused. I'm just confused. The person who came out with Sterling Hall episode 1, all this luxury, all this success, has effectively spent the rest of the season hiding up under somebody else. Like make it make sense. And in this interview, on the show, they're trying to push that, Porsha could have had the power or could have had the whatever to get Shamea a peach. But it sounds like that's not the case, and that was never the case. It sounded like Porsha's pull was just to get Shamea as a friend of. And it seems to be some resentment there, that she was only a friend of all these years. And it's like, that's not Porsha's fault. It like, maybe production felt that she didn't bring enough to have a peach. And so nonetheless, and what I still find so suspicious about this Porsha thing, you guys, is Shamea and Porsha had lost touch. And they did not get back in touch until shortly after Porsha married Cordell. And we know the early part of their marriage and the quick downfall of the marriage was on the show. So it's almost as if you reconnected with Porsha for the sake of the fact she was on Real Housewives. And then y'all making it a point to say, you know, Shamea in describing Kandi, that she doesn't gatekeep and she allows other people to win and all this and that. So I'm assuming that is a shot at Porsha. But I don't know about y'all, but how many of y'all that you consider your best friends or your close friends that y'all do everything together? Anything you're interested, you do everything together. It is one thing trying to be a part of a certain group or certain organization or whatever else together, but your entire existence, so Kandi's a singer-songwriter. Shamea wants to sing. Apparently, according to Shamea, Kandi's hooked her up with some people or whatever else because she knew, she knows that industry, obviously, right? Then Shamea talks about how Kandi helped her get to the radio station, that because Kandi was already doing promo spots and working at radio stations here and there, Shamea told Kandi to contact the program directors to help her get on the show, to help her get a job. So Shamea says she's in a place in her life where she wants people to see her win. But even when Kandi's talking about the success of Othello and how she's got more plays down the pipeline, here comes Shamea begging Kandi to put her in her next play, that, if she can get a role since Kandi made all this money from the last play and all this and all of that. And I don't understand how Kandi's alarm bells are not going off. I don't feel this is a mutually beneficial friendship dynamic in any capacity. Like, I feel like the loyalty is because Kandi's the plug. But on the show, y'all make it seem like Porsha's the plug and Porsha is the one that has all of this power to make all the bells and whistles happen. But that was never the case. Kandi has had production deals, with Bravo long before, anything else. And had spinoffs, a very long time ago. So I am confused as to why on the show they make it seem like it was Porsha's responsibility to do this. It was Porsha's responsibility to do that. And Porsha even showed receipts on the show basically saying, I've never, talked down or wished you didn't have a peach. But this behavior is weird. And so I find it interesting. Shamea said that she's never had an issue with Kandi, and that the one time they did, it was because Shamea didn't have Kandi's back. So fast forward to now, Shamea has a peach, and we're regurgitating all this stuff. What, on Kandi's behalf? You're throwing away, a multi-decade, relationship, friendship, alleged friendship for a TV show for the sake of reality TV? Because it was funny in the intro, Gary with the T was like, well, one needs no introduction in reference to Kandi. And he was like, but the other one does in reference to Shamea. But Gary was more interested in all the things that Kandi Burruss had going on because she is the household name. She is the one that is breaking records. But it turned into, it looked like it was supposed to be a co-interview of Gary asking Kandi questions and Gary asking Shamea questions. It turned into an interview of Gary and Shamea asking Kandi questions. And Shamea just right before your eyes diminishing herself to, oh my gosh, Kandi did this for me, Kandi did that for me. Everybody thinks Porsha got me on the show, but that's not true. She got me on the show as a friend of. Well, that's still getting you on the show. But Kandi wanted to make it a point to say she's the one that helped Shamea get the peach. She's the one that kept calling the producers. And Shamea even said that she's the one that hits Kandi up to say, hey, did you call this person? Did you call this person to put in a good word for me? So that's the type of quote-unquote friendship she had wanted from Porsha. She wanted Porsha, I guess, all day, every day, to call whoever the powers it be, at Bravo, at NBC Universal, call them every day, all day, to put in a good word for her, to recommend her for a peach. But my thing is, with Shamea, it sounded like really the only thing she got for herself with this Hawks hosting job. And really, that kind of happened by accident, because the person who had the job, it was already taken, and Shamea was begging for the job, and the only reason that she had the job was the person missed their flight, and Shamea already had a packed thing of clothes. So I am taking away from all of this is that Shamea sees things that other people has and basically attaches herself to them and basically wants to be them. I think Porsha saw through that and kept Shamea at arm's length. And Shamea's pissed about that. But Shamea is trying to use the show to, try to, I guess resurrect beef from 10 plus years ago, try to defend Kandi's honor and everything else that would happen with Rhoa season 9 and just bring up all this random stuff. And Porsha's confused because Porsha's like, what are we doing? I don't talk to you or talk about you, any of these people. And apparently you're trying to take me down. You're trying to bring me down. Make it make sense. But now this interview, it all makes sense. Kandi's talking about how, she doesn't ask for anybody to do anything for her. She doesn't boast about the things she does for people. She doesn't hold it against them. No, Kandi, you don't have to. You don't have to, because I see the dynamic right before my eyes. It is Shamea all day begging you for parts and roles and anything else, and begging you to go to the opening of the envelope if you'll have it. And Shamea, she is so happy that she was invited to the BET Award, y'all. She is so happy for the increased exposure now that she's a peach holder on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and this was what it was all about. She doesn't care about this friendship with Porsha. Angela is proven right. Shamea pretended to get along with Porsha all this time until finally she got her peach, and then she was going to ditch Porsha and find a new sidekick. And her new sidekick for now is Kelly. What Shamea did not anticipate, though, was that Angela and Drew were going to throw her under the bus and expose her scheming ways, because since Shamea thought it didn't record, it wasn't on camera, you have no proof of my mess. But Angela said, no, I'm going to get you together real quick and teach you a lesson. And so you have that going on, and then they didn't anticipate Phaedra's return. So, y'all, I felt a certain way about this, because I can honestly say from this interview, I understand why Drew and Angela are coming at Shamea the way that they are. They don't feel like they're getting the right authenticity from Shamea, the right life story from Shamea, because whoever she attaches herself onto, whether she wants to call it loyalty or whatever, and as a result of that, she just goes hard in the paint and just attacks certain people and puts them down when it's not their fault. It's not Porsha's fault. You wanted her to, to take you out for a whole month to celebrate you getting a peach. You were mad that she texted you congratulations and wrote a comment on your Instagram, but you wanted more. You wanted her to be on the phone with you for 5 hours and crying and saying congratulations a million times. Like it is crazy to me. It is wild to me, you guys. And this was somebody coming in. I was feeling Shamea. I thought Shamea was going to be the quintessential housewife, had the lifestyle. We were going to see a lot of her husband. We were going to see a lot of their family life, their dynamic, and everything else. And we're seeing everything but. We are seeing everything but. It seems like Shamea was focused in on who she could replace Porsha with as her friend. And then, basically going on the attack on Porsha moving forward and just ditch her now that she has this peach. But like Kandi said in this interview, I can help you get all these opportunities, but it's up to you to maintain them. It's up to you to keep them. And we know Shamea is no longer at the radio station, right? And yeah, we heard never had, but it's came and went, you guys. I see Drew booking all types of gigs right now, promoting her album, promoting her music. I don't see that for Shamea. So now we're down to Shamea finally being a peach holder, and fans are dragging her and are done with her and are mad because once Angela put everything out there and put it up in a bow at Porsha's event and set everything up and said what she had to say on that after show, people have been looking at Shamea very differently ever since. And like I keep saying, there was a reason that Shamea stayed so good of friends as long as she did with Porsha, is because they share a lot of the same behavior. We call out, Porsha all the time if she's acting messy or being two-faced or doing this or lying or whatever else, but I'm seeing how Shamea moves. She's one of those people who throws rocks and hides her hands. She just doesn't want her business out there on the streets. And Angela kind of gave a little taste of that, of what that is like. But this interview was alarming, and how quickly Shamea diminishes herself in front of other people and everything else. Listen, we hype Kandi up. We give her flowers. We're proud of her success. But it was cringe where Shamea is basically begging Kandi for more opportunity, y'all. I don't know if y'all felt the same way, if y'all saw that interview or not, but I was very disappointed in Shamea because it feels like she feels she cannot stand on her own without Kandi having to do all of this lobbying for her, making all these calls for her to make things happen for her. And to me, that's not a friendship. That is somebody, that's like a reference, somebody that has an in the industry that is going to make things happen for you. But for whatever reason, she took all of this out on Porsha. What connection in the music industry is Porsha going to have to make Shamea's music dreams come true, right? And we know Porsha and Gary with a T are good friends. We know Porsha was on Dish Nation for all those years. And remember, Porsha, passed the baton over to Eva Marcel and everything else. Like, maybe Shamea's mad about that too. Maybe Shamea thought she should have been on Dish Nation instead of a radio station with Big Terror. I don't know. But it is very, very weird. I am seeing now why Shamea goes so hard for Kandi, why she calls herself Baby Kandi, and why she wants to look like Kandi, and why she calls Kandi her baby mama, y'all. Very, 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 very weird. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.